with the same question on the taxation. We have one that especially the businesses complaining or crying because of the increased taxation. That is government trying to normalize revenues. As an expert in this area, where do you see businesses going? You see a stop this, are they likely to survive? And in terms of resilience, what God was talking about, how will they survive?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So I think for me, is the government trying to collect taxes? Absolutely yes. And how they're doing it is through really automation and digitalization. A lot of the businesses were paper-based or are paper-based, especially the M in the SMEs. And for them then to now start complying with regulations around e-TIMS or electronic invoicing is what is really causing the challenge. A lot of the companies also lack some level of governance and infrastructure controls, and that is really causing them the issue around tax compliance generally. Uh, do I see them surviving? Absolutely. Remember, businesses also evolve. If you remember the time of the pandemic, when we had COVID, a lot of the businesses even shifted their core operations to then manufacturing masks. So it's similar to how the tax regime is working. When we have changes in any legislation or changes in the way we are collecting taxes, businesses will evolve to then meet the new requirements. In terms of how they will survive, I think for me, it is important that all businesses then onboard e-TIMS or electronic invoicing. Two things happen. One, the Revenue Authority also expand the tax base. And the challenge is that you recall that we've always said that the government is focused on formal sector. People who have pins, people who are paying their taxes, but the informal sector is also billions of dollars, not just shillings. So I think for me, moving with technology is the only way we will expand the tax base and also try and collect additional revenue.
Then how do you balance the tax compliance versus the unpredictability of the tax regime that we currently face?
So I think that's a very good question in terms of unpredictability. So Kenya actually have a policy, the national tax policy. That's a policy we have been saying, or it should have been implemented. I've been doing tax for a number of decades. It was finally implemented. And there's some really good provisions in the national tax policy, including trying to reduce some of the tax rates. The challenge is implementation. Policy is very different from legislation. If not enacted and brought into legislation, then it becomes very difficult to implement. Remember, the policy was saying the law should not change every year; it should change maybe once in 3 to 5 years. That in itself has not yet happened. So when we actually get to that level of implementation of the national tax policy, then for sure, I think we'll be in a better space in terms of collection. Again, there's been a lot of education by the Revenue Authority. What I mean by this is that they've gone to the grassroots to explain this is how tax is meant to be collected. Has it been very effective? I would think there is a level that it has been successful, but a lot is yet to be desired. A lot of the taxpayers feel that taxes are very punitive, and the reason being you can collect tax. And remember, the government did achieve its target last financial year. They did the 2.4 trillion. This year is 2.7 trillion shillings. The question that's on, I guess, everyone's mind is how that tax is being utilized. So the utilization, the accountability, once that becomes transparent and you should be able to see through healthcare, through the roads and infrastructure, then I guess the confidence of paying the tax becomes a bit easier. At the moment, I can assure you a lot of businesses see this as punitive because they are now grappling between the taxes that they need to pay and running their businesses.
Maybe to be out a bit, how ready or how prepared is the accounting and finance sector in terms of adoption of AI? Because AI is the biggest thing right now. Then number two, do you feel it's a threat to some? Because in our field, we feel like it's a threat to some jobs. In your field, how does it affect now the employment numbers?
So, in terms of AI and how professionals, accounting professionals, have adopted, I think there's been a lot of learnings. ACCA itself has done a number of has a number of courses in terms of being ready, being future ready. I think for me, it's not future; it's the present ready. So, in terms of upskilling and capabilities, that has been done. It's been rolled out severally. The challenge is obviously the implementation. access to certain tools and technologies can be expensive. And until the pricing doesn't come down, then I think use might also be a bit of a challenge. Remember, AI is not a new thing. I think it's been here since the 1930s or 1940s. It is just now that we're giving it a lot of importance because we're doing things differently. Is it a threat to accountants? Absolutely not. The reason I say this is because I have seen whereby when you use technology or use AI in certain processes, it actually helps the task be more efficient. It reduces the number of people that maybe need to go and deliver a particular task. So the other people are then repurposed. So it's all about using your existing resources to repurpose and driving your business forward. So it's not going to replace people, but that is true. That's the general course of life. You have to evolve. You have to do things differently, and AI is here to stay.
Then how do you balance it with what you're speaking about earlier about ethical?
So I think for me, AI learns, right? So that's the whole point. So the more you do it, the more it learn and do it better. You can even try it. Like you can put in a question to AI, but the response might not be accurate. So when I talk about ethical, two fronts. One, is it ethical to keep using AI to deliver client work? And secondly, it's all about checking facts. Are the facts that have been developed or churned out by this particular AI accurate or not? So I think for me, while it builds efficiencies, it's very important to know when can I use AI, to what level can I use AI. It's not ethical to use client data into a tool and then churn out a report because remember, AI stores that. So all that is about ethics and also about the right use of AI.
Maybe final to me for me is still I'll take you back on that the taxation issue.
Hmm.
In your area, you must have access to another. You must have seen companies or other businesses quitting, leaving the scene because of that. How do you how what is your take on that?
So, two ways of answering that question. So, it is true that there are certain businesses when issued with a demand or an assessment, they sort of close shop, others go and fight it in the courts or through the tax appeals tribunal. The second way is really around the governance structures of organizations. Remember, you can never be 100% compliant, but you must be as compliant as you possibly can. In the sense that based on the knowledge that you have about the tax laws, based on your controls and your structures, you need to do the best you can in terms of remaining compliant. Now, the issues arise whereby you are not compliant, and then maybe it's human error, or it could be systems error, or it could be, you know, someone who's not well aware about the tax laws in the country, or not didn't get the right advice, and then thereupon now you end up with that tax assessment. When you do get it, you do feel like maybe operating in this country is very hard, and then they do move their bases to a different jurisdiction or country. That can happen. But given that the recent 2024, there have been a number of deals that have happened in Kenya in terms of investors coming in. You've also seen how the stock prices have increased on the NSE. That to me shows investor confidence. That to me shows that investors are still willing to invest in companies, in businesses in Kenya. And that's because a lot of the companies actually are aware of their compliance obligations. Remember, I said knowledge is power, and lack of it is also, results to that non-compliance. So as long as you are aware about what's required of you and from you, then you can remain compliant and you can continue working in the country. But the flip side, I said the second point is that a lot of businesses find operating, maybe moving their holding companies out of Kenya because of more efficiency or tax structuring possibilities. That too can happen, but not necessarily shift out because of the adverse tax, rates or charges.
Thank you, Sadiq.
Thank you.